Peace be with you. It's Khalifa Man giving sight to the sleeper ram. And today, I want to talk about gang stalking. Now, if you're not familiar with gang stalking, then this video is probably not for you. But let me enlighten you on what gang stalking is so you can make that decision yourself. Gang stalking occurs when you start to make certain realizations about self, about higher consciousness, about the Most High Creator, about the universe itself. Once you start to tap into the cosmos, tap into the universal consciousness, start to get close to Mother Nature, and taking care of yourself in the right manner, and speaking out about certain things or performing arts to combat certain things, then you'll start to notice and experience gang stalking. Now it is worldwide. So essentially there's no avoiding gang stalking. Once you start to wake up and realize who you are, it is everywhere you are. And that is because you start to glow or project a certain aura, and energy vampires can sense this aura. It's very strong, just like the opposite energies of succubuses or the Jezebel spirits. You know, these auras are very strong in a negative fashion, but people of a positive spectrum have similar auras, very strong auras. So people start to magnetically draw themselves or try to attach themselves to you, but it's in a form of negativity, pushing off man-made fear or scare tactics that they try and things of this nature. But once you realize who you are, that no longer applies to you. But that is like their biggest weapon. They try to continually push off and emit negativity, and the biggest one for them is fear tactics. But we don't have the spirit of fear. But I have news for you today. News for you that have been experiencing gang stalking and how to combat it on a higher spectrum. You can combat it in many forms. The lowest of forms being, well, I don't mean the lowest of forms, but you can combat it using their tactics against them. For instance, me making this video now. Speaking out against these energies is combative. Yet it also induces fear or pain to these energies. You can, if you're good at any type of, if you have any talents like arts, any type of art that you do, you can draw or paint, different downloads or messages that you may have, paint against these energies, and it will be effective to combat these energies. You can also, like for instance myself, I'm a poet. You can convey your messages through poetry or music, song, stuff like that. Another thing, dancing. Dancing is a form of basically dancing against, any form of art that you may be good at, any form of expression, even verbally making videos I'm doing now, can be combative towards these energies. But once you start to tap in and really tap in, you'll notice that you start having a lot of mental messages. You'll get a lot of downloads or direction I should say, from either side you choose. Now, if you're conscious and you're woke and you're tapping in and know who yourself is, then you won't identify with certain messages. But you have to realize I am not my thoughts. I am my soul, my spirit, and this is my temple. The brain is a three-dimensional object, so it can be diluted or it can be enlightened depending on which path you choose. Now, if you remove the delusions, if you remove the toxicities, and you focus on knowing you, tapping into your higher self, tapping into the cosmos, tapping into the creator, then you'll realize you'll start to get a lot more positive uh, messages, positive direction, positive structure in your life. Um, Now, when you start to get these messages for positive direction, you'll notice outside influences, gang stalking, trying to infiltrate, trying to drop seeds in your head to get you to turn your back on the Most High, on the Creator, on your true purpose, on your ascension, trying to keep you trapped in their little programs. You'll get a lot of bombarding messages of BS. That's what I'm calling it. Bullshit. That's what it is. But you have to know that that wouldn't have came from me. That wouldn't have came from the Most High. You have to fight that and combat that. But since we're down here in this three-dimensional realm, while still accessing higher realms, the mind can be invaded to a certain extent, but you can combat against it. Now, the way to combat against it effectively, since everybody has this, well, certain select conscious individuals have this ESP, if you want to label it that. It's like a heightened intuition slash telepathic connection. Now, these lower vibrational entities possess this as well. So that's how they infiltrate and get into the mind and stuff like that. But one way to effectively combat against this is visualization, imagery, and imagination. Once you tap into your childhood imagination, if you still possess it, great, you're on target and you can be truly effective. But a lot of people have lost that connection with their imagination and they just see everything as reality, and that's one of the false paradigms, because the true reality exists outside of what you can see with your physical eyes. True reality is spiritual and exists in the etheric planes, and you access these planes using your astral body. Now, using your astral body through imagination is one way to effectively combat against these energies. Once you start to be able to visualize, you can create attacks, create attacks. Plain and simple. You can create attacks orchestrated by you to combat against these energies. If you can see the energy physically, now some energies, energy doesn't have a form necessarily. It can be transformed into a form, but it's formless. But it can be transformed into a form. So now these energies may present themselves as just people, or through animals, anything like that. You might think your next door neighbors are your best friends, but they may possess an energy that's not like yours, and that is trying to go against yours. And if you physically, or it could be anybody, cab driver, that work at a restaurant, somebody who works in a theater, the list goes on and on and on. But what I'm saying is that these different people with these energy signatures that are not aligned to yours will try to say subliminal messages for predictive programming. But if you're conscious, you'll be aware of it immediately. Once they say something that's not right, it'll just, like, what? Did they just say that? It's not going to click with you. You immediately going to feel some type of way about the comment or about whatever was going on, because we know all we need to know. So once someone or an energy of any form, it could be an animal too. You know, these energies can, certain animals can get both sides of the energy. You know, it could be a positive side or a negative side. Um, Now, if the energy is not of like, if it's not like you, or not like the Most High, not like the Creator, not representing ascension, it's going to try to attack you in some form. You know, I haven't quite experienced a physical attack, but most of them try to push that mannerism. You know, but if you're tapped in, you are protected. So, and certain energies know this too. So they're not really gonna try to physically push themselves upon you or attack you, because they know who you are. So they're gonna try to infiltrate your mind and spirit first. Spirit first. That way they can try to pull you down to their level. Then you up a game. But if you're tapped in and you're connected, you're protected. So they know the karma they will receive, or the justice they will receive for bothering, or not even bothering, but physically harming uh, uh, enlightened or being that is being used by the Creator. They realize this themselves, so they would try to do other things within their karmic laws of trying to push off fear or being a nuisance or being a pest to you. But like I said, getting back on topic, I kind of got off. But getting back on topic, if you have tapped into your imagination and you can visualize, the war is yours.